complied, and I went and put those in the truck as well.
So what was in your mind? Why did you think you needed to lock up the firearms in a vehicle?
Because my first impression was a bullshit story, and that's something else.
You got Bum Bum Tea, Chini Tanchu, Mungbong Dos.
You mentioned earlier when we were first talking about the weekend of January 25th, Saturday, Sunday, January 26th, your mom being in town.
Yes, sir.
When did your mom get into town here in Colorado Springs?
She was here for about a week, if I remember correctly. I don't remember a specific date, but she was there, I think, that whole week.
Did she stay in a hotel or at the house?
At the house.
Where did she sleep?
Oh, I don't remember that specific time where she slept.
Okay. You mentioned that there was Gannon's bed in his bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
You have to say yes or no.
Yes, sorry.
And then there was a second bed in Gannon's bedroom.
Yes,
And then there was a bed in Harley's bedroom.
yes,
There was the master bedroom.
yes.
And then you had couches both downstairs and upstairs. Do you remember, with that in mind, where your mother slept when she visited you in?
I still don't, not that
Okay.
specific visit.
Okay. How were you and the defendant getting along during this period of time when your mom was visiting?
Not well.
How was the defendant interacting with your mom?
I think it was fine and peaceful. I don't remember it being there any negativity.
Was there anything out of the ordinary?
I don't remember.
Okay. You mentioned going up to DIA on January 25th after having dinner and all that sort of stuff. Is that the last time you saw Gannon alive?
Yes, sir.
Did you say anything to him?
Yeah, he was, we were at the top of the stairs, and I was getting ready to leave with mom, and me and Gannon were at the top of the stairs, and I just gave him a hug, and I always used to rub my fingers through his hair, and just told him I love you, and something I would always tell the kids when I had to leave or when they would go back to their mom's house was like, you know, you're always going to be in my heart, and I'm always going to be in your heart. And I'll see you when I get back. And he's like, okay, Daddy, love you. And I'm going to finish watching Pokemon. I remember it like it was yesterday. Yep.
I don't know. As horrible as the situation is, I'm gonna just say I understand love. I understand wanting to make things work. I understand overlooking things and excusing away things when you're in a relationship. I was in a relationship for 5 years in the midst of my child's life. Not with my son's father. My son was, I don't even know, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, somewhere in there, okay? I was in this relationship for 5 years. Things started going bad, but I couldn't tell what was going on. He was good at the hiding, okay? So me and him started to distance ourselves. For the last year of the relationship, although we lived together, we were not in a relationship. I was just trying to figure out what the fuck was going on and how the fuck to get this man up out of my house. Yes, you got to go. I don't know what's wrong, but the love has changed to curiosity, and I am just curious as to why you still here, because I can love you from afar. Shit, this is editing me. I forgot. Boo thing, hey, I know you be watching my videos. I emailed you. Don't leave no more comments. Email me back. If you ain't got your email before, my email's still the same. Use your brain. Use your brain. Talk to you soon. The thing is he didn't have a car at the time. He lost his car halfway through our relationship, just say. But it kind of worked out. I worked at a hospital, 12-hour shifts, so he would just use my car. I got so paranoid, and I knew something was wrong, and he would not admit it, that what I would do is he would pick my son up from school. He started to not be so happy with that relationship. So I had him drop my son off at my mom's house. You won't even have the opportunity to take it out on my child Because I don't know what the fuck is going on with you, but that's not your child. And you will do to him as you will do to any other person in the world, in my eyes. For me, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I don't trust nobody, even if you are that person. My own child. You give me some inklings, I'm going to look at you with the side eye. Not to say I'm a twist turn on you or nothing like that, but I'm always open to the possibilities that people are people. They have their own mind, and some people have struggles. They have thoughts, and some people will act on those thoughts. I'm not going to find out the hard way if I can avoid it. I literally threw my couch away at the end of this relationship to get rid of this man. My fight or flight is no joke. No joke. I will run at all costs. And I wasn't even going nowhere, but I will figure out how to safely remove myself and anywhere else I need to from the situation. Not to say this is anywhere comparable, but this really makes me think. I want to say it was like Las Vegas, Utah, somewhere over there. It was a lady who met a man, and I think she had 2 kids. She moved in with, or something like her boyfriend had died, and this was like his best friend. It was real sticky. It was a real like icky situation kind of thing. His cousin, somebody who she knew before. So the children's fathers passed away. She got into the relationship with this man. This man ended up isolating her from everyone, including her kids, took away one of her kids. The little boy was gone, and she ended up getting away because she snuck a note to the girl and sent her to school. Her little daughter. She sent her daughter to school with a note saying, I need help, essentially. I'm confused as to by day 1, day 2, you didn't have no way to sneak out and run away. When you first start getting them signs, them inklings, just anything, instead of trying to excuse it away and work through the process, do you ever work through the feelings? Do you ever sit in your fight or flight and wonder why your gut is telling you that this person may not? I just want to say, these was not her kids. These was not her kids. Y'all in a sticky, icky situation, and you taking away the only help she had at that time. You know she do crazy things like stage robberies. She had you move from a whole... You had to leave Alaska, sir. I mean, I understand Letitia was good at her game that she was playing because she knew who she should play her games with. But this was a rough one. And I just feel like, I don't know. You can't be putting your responsibilities off on other people because they say they want to be part of your family. For me, I make it very clear. And then I'm going to stop talking after this. When I get into a relationship, I don't mind kids. I don't want any more kids. Absolutely not at all. I don't mind kids. I like them sometimes. Sometimes they be cute and stuff like that. But I will never be a full-fledged mom. I will be the epitome of stepmom. I'm going to be the one they always want to be around, but they is never around. It's going to be real quick. I show my face real quick. We have all the fun in the world, and then you got to go. It sounds like I just want to be a baby daddy.
Because my first impression was a bullshit story, and that something else was going on.
That second time, so later in the evening on January 28th, did you specifically tell the detectives what you thought was in the defendant's car based on the information you had?
Yeah, I made a statement to them about, they asked me that question, and I just replied with what I thought I was going to find in the car.
What did you think you were going to find if you found the car?
I think my hope was to find Gannon. That was the whole point of searching, was to find Gannon.
So you thought Gannon might be in that car?
I had no clue, but that's what I said to them. Absolutely. Yes, sir.
Okay. I want to jump ahead to January 31st. You remember sharing some text messages with the defendant about her coming back to the house, so this would be after she'd moved out, to collect things from the house, or phone calls.
So let me clarify this. You said after she had physically moved out, or came and got her stuff and moved out?
Where she had physically removed herself from the house, but wanted to come back and get her belongings.
I just want to clarify. Yes, yeah, absolutely. There was multiple phone calls and text messages throughout those few days, and I remember specifically we scheduled a time for her to come, and I scheduled a time that way I could ensure a deputy would be there to kind of monitor the situation, because it became very volatile by that point.
So did the defendant in fact come to the house?
Not on that first time. I think it was the second scheduled time, but she did.
Who did she come with?
The defendant came with, herself, Harley came, her mother, and her brother, Dakota Lowry.
What is her mother's name?
Deborah, I don't remember. I don't know exactly
Okay.
what her last name is.
And I'm not asking you to tell us anything that Harley said, but how was Harley acting during this time?
Very reserved, I think is the best way to put it.
Once she moved her belongings out of the house on January 31st, how would you communicate with the defendant after that?
Through text message, there may have been, and I'm speaking in between the period before I started the pretext phone calls. There was text messages and I believe some emails and possibly some phone calls as well. I don't remember specifically, but any version of those three, I think, were in play.
What about in-person conversations?
I don't believe I ever saw her again after she left until I saw her in the courtroom.
Okay. During that particular time frame, so from January 31st until we start into these pretext phone calls, did the statements that the defendant was telling you about what happened again and ever change?
Yes, they changed yes.
In what ways did they change?
Different people were accused, something happened again and at different places, I think I'm mixing up some of the pretext stuff too. So I'm trying, I don't know, but yeah, there was different stories told.
Okay.
So.
All right, so listen, make sure you understand. I don't know nothing about nothing. And I only say that because I don't know if I'm going to say something that sounds stupid in some of these videos. So that's my warning. I am confused as to why the timeline looks like this. If she was being tracked. Did they not have calls on these days? I've only started back at the beginning of the trial, so I don't know for sure. But I hope and pray I don't come across recordings for these days after I made this video. I'm going to be real sad. So we are at February the 2nd, 2020. The van travels to Amarillo, Texas at 10 p.m. and remains there at least until 10 a.m. the following day. At least means they don't know. The van travels through Texas at 4 p.m. and stops at 10 p.m. It stays at the Candlewood Suites in Decatur, Texas until the following day. February the 3rd, 2020. From 10 a.m., the van travels out of Texas. Then neighbor Roderick Drayton releases his home security footage. This footage shows Letitia and Gannon leaving together on January 27th. It is a prolonged cause of dispute as to whether the footage shows Gannon returning that afternoon. Detectives search the family home again and record blood evidence in Gannon's room, under the bed, and on the wall. This was the first time they found that, right? From 4:10 p.m. through 10:10 p.m., the van travels through Louisiana onto Alabama. I've never heard it put like that. You've driven onto the state. 11:43 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Letitia makes a reservation online at Candlewood Suites in Pensacola, Florida. February the 4th, 2020, 12:23 a.m. Letitia checks into Candlewood Suites, a hotel in Pensacola, Florida. She checks out at 11:11 a.m. The van travels from Ferry Pass, Florida, on to Lake City, Florida. February the 5th, 2020, the van is in Lake Buena Vista, Florida by 12:10 a.m. Editor's note, this is the Disney World Resort area. Wow. Wow. I didn't know what kind of reaction they wanted, so I just wanted to give them a little something. Investigators continue their work in the family home. The El Paso Sheriff's Office releases a video with Al, Landon, and Lena pleading for Gannon's safe return and asking for the public help. Asking the public for help. The van leaves Lake Buena Vista, Florida around 9 p.m. That's your help. Your help is right there. It just left Lake Buena Vista, Florida, and apparently ain't nobody watching it to see what it's doing. February the 7th, 2020, the family home is formally seized by law enforcement. Lena and Al have moved out. The 7th. So that's the weekends of February. And then he disappeared on, was it the 27th, 28th that he disappeared? February the 6th, 2020, at 12:10 a.m., the van travels through Pooler, Georgia. The van stops at a Days Inn in Forest Brook, South Carolina. The van travels through Conway, South Carolina to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. It stays parked. She done. She ain't got nowhere else to go. But we about to get into these phone calls, so she parking it up so she can figure out how to... See, I really don't know. The first phone call I heard, I'm almost positive it was on the 13th of February. February the 12th, 2020, the media lets the public know that law enforcement is searching for Gannon in the area where it is believed that his remains were first deposited. Damn, they was that far behind. Girl, you did your... I hate to give her any kind of props, so I'm going to stop my sentence at that moment. I will not, but I cannot believe out of all the people we looking at so far, a career criminal, Darrell Doogie Butt Brooks, motherfucking, what's her name, Sarah Boone, not to say she was no, like, criminal mastermind or anything like that, but she tried the same thing that Letitia did. She thought she was going to be able to talk her way out, but she didn't have yes, I can't even put her on the same pedestal. Let me take that over. Alex Murdaugh. Wait a minute, no, I'm going to have to do his, because I wondered, did he make it longer than Letitia? How long was it before he got arrested? Oh, damn, I can't even remember. It's a couple of these ones that's high on my list of shit I got to do something about them. So they the ones that constantly pop in my mind. Now, I ain't going to talk about the Hildebrands and the Frankies. I don't know if I can do anything for them. Oh, Jesus, because they don't have much footage. And they didn't do no trials or nothing. They didn't do no interviews. Okay, I'm sorry. I apologize. February the 12th, 2020. The media lets the public know that law enforcement is searching for Gannon in the area where it is believed that his remains were first deposited. The van is returned to a rental location. Letitia releases a public statement to Denver Fox 31, refuting Roderick's theory that Gannon did not return with her on January 27th. Letitia calling in and acting as Harley calls the evidence department at the El Paso County Sheriff's Office and attempts to reclaim what was seized by law enforcement. She does not receive her items back as Gannon's disappearance is a pending case at this time. Oh, boo, I didn't know that was on day 12. I ain't really always to the bottom of this, so I thought that none of this was going to be big. I thought all of this was just van stops driving, hotel, hey. Oh, I'm sorry, I was partying. I thought all of this was just moving and grooving. But apparently we had done something on a couple of these days, so that's going to be the end of this. We about to go see what this statement say. Oh, you know I'm about to read that. You know if I don't read shit else, I'm going to read what the fuck she got to say on that. And we about to listen to Harley / Letitia / Kim / whoever the fuck she want to be. Call trying to get this shit back. Knowing goddamn well, I don't understand how she thought she was going to get the passport back. I think that's what really screwed her. She was going to be going. Like, you'd have found Harley in an alley somewhere because she didn't drop her ass off and she is gone. She was going to drop her off at one of the military bases, sign her rights over. She was going to be gone. She was about to be Donna Adelson successfully. Write you a postcard, boo. Right, I promise you, if she would not have had those things taken away from her, as long as she was on the run, oh my God, and she was looking at plastic surgery, if she thought any kind of way she was going to be able to get one foot on a plane, oh, boo was gone. I believe wholeheartedly Letitia would have been my story that I wouldn't have had no ending to right away. She'd have still been on the run today, allegedly, in my opinion. Because some man would have scooped her up. She'd have did something strange for a little piece of change, and he'd have held her up in the Transylvania castle for us never to hear from her again, but for her to live her. I don't know how we got here. I apologize. Okay, I'm going now. All right, so I am here on Fox 31. The date of this article was February the 12th, 2020. And it's just an exclusive Gannon Stotch. Stepmother releases statement about boy's disappearance. So I'm just going to read the statement first and foremost. I would like to thank all agencies, volunteers, and community members who are working diligently and praying endlessly to bring Gannon home safe. Thank you to my husband who has stayed strong through this and protected our family to the best of his ability, and our immediate and extended family members throughout the East Coast. To Gannon, please come home soon because your daddy is waiting to watch the new Sonic movie that comes out this week. And the cool shirt I got you to wear to the theater is in your closet. Social media has been devastating, from the harsh comments, speculations, threats, cyberbullying, etc. It has been a challenge when people are trying to run you off the road, waiting outside your hotel, threatening to kill you, etc. Was the motherfucking police waiting outside of your hotel? I promise you they the only ones that should have been tailing you and outside. Wasn't nobody else out there. What the fuck is we saying, Tisha? Come on now, boo. But I got you. This was all part of the presentation. This is why you were running. You were scared. Oh, I'm sorry, that's not in the letter. I just did the voice when I said it. Okay. I encourage the sheriff's office to take down those pages that promote negative behavior and violence. Let's do what Gannon would do. Be kind to one another. We all have engaged in something crazy online at some point, but Gannon would want everyone to get along and to focus on finding him. You did not put that motherfucking... Girl, you's a motherfucking evil ass somebody. How the fuck dare you? This is the craziest thing. And oh, okay. I know that many people have kids and are invested in this because it hits close to home for them. I would like to think that overall most people are genuine and want to do everything in their power to find G. With that being said, please take a step back for a moment and let me explain to you a few details that were not released. For example, just like the video that was leaked, there are additional details that were hidden due to 1, the department doing its job. 2, the effects of social media and how some individuals would criticize or hinder the investigation. I choose to listen. I didn't leak videos or information. But at this time, it's getting later in the process and we just want Gannon home. I feel the need to fill in some gaps. Now let me stress this. Police have known this since the first interview. Since Saturday night, G was helping me unload in the garage and cut his foot because there are a lot of tools because Albert does woodworking. He sat on the edge of the car and we bandaged it up. He was good to go. He always loves helping his dad in the garage build things like his Lego tables and the flower pot they built for me as a gift. After this, I noticed G kept going to the side of the house. He told me he was checking to see if the gate was locked because he was the only one with the gate key. It made him proud to be the man of the house while Albert was away. Fast forward, we did a hike on Sunday, clear, and shopping on Monday, as well as him getting out of the other side. Please don't think for a second that there isn't enough technology to determine shadows and movement around the truck. There was also proof from my phone that we had taken a selfie in the truck in our driveway that was timestamped. Wait a minute, did I see that? I don't think I seen that. Did y'all see that? Wait a minute. God damn, I wish I had a good memory. We always send pictures to Albert when we are out and about or when he is away. That can be scanned for actual time verification. From day one, the sheriff's office has known a description of the friend whom Gannon left with. I explained to them and provided evidence. They had information about G having the key to go out the side gate. They have more in-depth details that go along with this, pointing to who sent the person or why he may have come. Again, I repeat, they have had this initially, and I was asked to keep quiet about it so they could have the best shot at doing their job at bringing G home. The last thing they needed was a hindrance to their investigation. I encourage you to think of any suspicious cars that may have been in the area watching a few days prior, and keep praying for G. Tisha Stotch. I would take my motherfucking last name back at that point. Motherfucker, I wish you would say a S word again, beginning with a ST. Nope. You gonna repo my name about your mouth, about your brain. She is crazy, y'all. I apologize. But she has convinced herself that her way of thinking and imagining and expressing herself is okay. It's okay. I understand nobody want to go to jail. You did the crime. Your plan was to get away with it. I understand that. But to have the audacity, she started this by thanking her husband. Wait till y'all get to the next video and you hear the calls. And to know what was actually going on through this period. Yeah, no. Okay, let's listen to the call. I'm so confused. Where are we at right now? And how the fuck did we get so far away from the crime date?
Until those were received, we could not release it until that time.
Okay. As it relates to this time frame, do you remember working on February 12th, 2020? And I know this is over 3 years away, but do you remember working at that time at the sheriff's office as an evidence tech?
Yes.
Do you remember getting phone calls as it relates to the Gannon Stout / Letitia Stout investigation?
Yes.
What were the nature of those phone calls that you were receiving in the evidence area for the sheriff's office?
So the nature of the phone calls could range from callers calling in saying they would like certain items of evidence back. From what I can recall, on several occasions, I had received phone calls in reference to property belonging to Mrs. Stout.
Okay. So just so that we're all understanding, did you receive some calls in which the caller identified themselves as Letitia Stout?
Not that I recall.
Okay. So had you had a chance to hear Letitia Stout's voice prior to these phone calls coming in?
At one point, I did. I do recall her coming into the lobby area at one point.
Okay. So what do you remember about that particular occasion?
I just remember her coming in and asking for her property back. And at that time, I told her I did need to get in contact with the lead investigator to make sure it was something that we could, in fact, release to her.
Okay. So you had a direct person-to-person interaction with her?
That is correct.
Did you hear her voice during that interaction?
Yes.
In a particular phone call, did you get a phone call from that defendant where she purported to be somebody different?
From what I can recall, yes.
Do you remember who it was that she was purporting to be at that time?
At that time, when I first got that call, the voice, it sounded like her, but claiming to be her daughter.
Okay. Okay. And then permission to publish this particular recording.
You may go ahead.
Office evidence, this is Chris. Yes, I was
So that first voice that we hear, is that your voice?
Correct.
And then that second voice, whose voice is that? Based on your knowledge?
Based on my knowledge, Mrs. Stocks.
The defendant?
Correct.
Okay.
earlier. I think you might have been busy or something, so I waited to call back for a little bit. It's okay. Sorry. What time did you call? I just called you like maybe 15, 20 minutes ago, and you said, hold on. No, that wasn't, there's four of us working here, so that wasn't me. Yeah. I was like, oh, I don't recognize your voice. you were busy. Okay, so I'm trying to find out about some contents of mine that was in a car. So, my book bag, which had a lot of my Social Security card, birth certificates, and stuff that was in a car that's still impounded. And I just want to know, they gave me the purse one day out of it, but how can I get the book bag? And I need my MacBook for school.
Your MacBook. Okay. What is your name?
Harley Hunt.
Harley Hunt. And do you have a case number so I can look it up?
Let's see this. I have this paper. It says agency number. Is that it? Or I have a VIN number?
It should be agency.
Agency number? All right. 2020-1382.
All right. Let's take a look here. You said it's a book bag?
There's a black and white book bag that was in the back seat of the white Jetta. And it has like my passport, my social, my birth certificate, my dog paperwork, my MacBook.
Okay. Let's see.
Yeah, there was like there was one blue bag that had a MacBook in it. And then there was a black and white book bag, and there was like my diamond rings are in it. And then there's a pink folder that had like my birth certificate and all that in it.
Okay. Let's see here.
Like, I understand they might still be holding the car, but like I can't like even like work or anything without having my passport because I'm a flight attendant. And
Okay. And you said your name was Carly Hunt, is that correct?
Harley Hunt.
Harley Hunt. Okay, Harley. Well, I can tell you right now, everything on this case is evidence. So because it's evidence, I cannot release it back to you without written authorization from basically a higher authority. They have not given us any written authorizations to release. So unfortunately, what you may want to do is contact the detective on this case. Have you been in contact with anybody?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, let me go ahead and get the lead detective's number for you, and you can call them in reference to this. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Hold on just one second.
Okay.
Okay, Harley?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's going to be Detective Bethel.
Okay.
And her desk number is going to be 520-7291.
Okay.
Okay,
thank you so much.
you're welcome. Have a good day.
Goodbye.
Ms. Cervantes, did it seem odd to you also, the comment about it being a flight attendant?
I'm sorry, repeat the question?
Yeah, did it seem odd to you when the caller requesting the information back, I guess, relayed to you that they were a flight attendant?
Yes.
Overruled.
What was odd about that?
Just the fact that her daughter being young, the age, I thought I found it odd to be that age and a flight attendant.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. That's all I have.
That wasn't nothing but a little trip, a little stumble. She ain't fall though. She ain't fall just because she accidentally threw in there some of her details, pretending like she was a child. That's okay. She did it a couple times and ain't nobody bat an eye, so it didn't matter. But did you see even the doubt in this? I think she was like a dispatch or something. What she said she was, this lady. When she got to the point, she looked at the whole chart. She saw all the stuff that was evidence. She probably looked at a little bit of the crime, the charges. Well, I wasn't charges at that time, but the crime that had been committed of Gannon being missing and all that kind of stuff. And she asked her, "Have you been in contact with anybody?" She was concerned. She thought she was letting the killer get away, allegedly, in my opinion. She was like, somebody got to do something. Do I need to call somebody? Let me call Bethel on your behalf. But she was just like, have you talked to anybody? Okay. She was worried. Okay, I'm worried. I'm worried. Letitia did good, yo. I hate to put the G word on it, but what else can you really say? She is winning so far. She literally was like, he ran that way. And they believed her. I mean, yeah. All right, y'all, we're going to get on to the next part. These calls. One of them calls going to be annoying as hell. All she do is yell. Not really, but the parts that I'm going to play most likely, she's just going to be yelling. All right, y'all, I see you on the next one.